Boxing fans, Miguel Maravilla here with you. Another fight, another preview. This one in the super flyweight division, as the trilogy is set between Juan El Gallo Francisco Estrada and Roman El Chocolatito Gonzalez. These two fights have been great. They've been non-stop action. They've been competitive. It has been a rivalry with non-stop action. A lot of punches being thrown. First fight taking place in 2012. I myself was very fortunate to cover that fight. That taking place, I believe it's at the LA Sports Arena, which is now the LAFC Stadium, Bank of California Stadium. So that was a hell of a fight. At the time, Roman Chocolatito was in his showcase. He was undefeated. He was up in the pound-for-pound rankings. He was the fighter that was there to be seen, as all of mostly the crowd was Nicaraguan and Mexican. Had Chocolatito, the veteran, the champ at the time, taking on the unknown young Gallo Estrada. What a fight it was, as Estrada made a name for himself in that fight in giving Chocolatito everything he can handle and going the distance. Things changed for both fighters after that fight, obviously. You know, Chocolatito himself went on to achieve bigger, better things, and Gallo Estrada himself picked up his first world title. And during the pandemic is when we witnessed the rematch. Another great fight, another fight that went down to the wire. And here we are, as we're set for the third installment of this rivalry. This fight's taking place Saturday, December 3rd at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona, suburb of Phoenix, live on the Zone, as Estrada Chocolatito 3, Mexico versus Nicaragua, as both countries definitely have their boxing traditions. The first fight took place in November of 2012, as Chocolatito Gonzalez defended his title against the unknown Juan Francisco El Gallo Estrada. That fight took place at the Los Angeles Sports Arena, in a fight which was featured on Wealth Network TV. That was on the undercard of the Brian Viloria versus Tyson Marquez unification, in a fight in which was Nicaragua versus Mexico. It was Chocolatito who was being showcased that night, but Gallo made the most of it, as it was his coming out party, as he impressed everyone at ringside, including myself. And I myself was fortunate enough to cover this first fight. What a fight it was. What a very competitive fight it was. It was a fight in which Gonzalez, going into the last round, we knew it was one of these fights that Gonzalez already had basically in the bag, but it wasn't an easy fight. Estrada won some rounds in that fight, made the most of it, and made a name for himself with that defeat, earning himself a shot at Brian Viloria, as Viloria was victorious that night in the main event. It was Estrada that pulled off the split decision, winning the WBA and WBO flyweight titles, defending his titles 5 times, and also piling up wins over Giovanni Segura and Tyson Marquez. In 2017, he won a unanimous decision over Carlos Cuadra, and then he stumbled upon Sor Rivingsai, who was hot coming into this fight, as he had defeated Chocolatito Gonzalez twice. Following the defeat to Sor Rubensai, won 2 fights and then got the rematch against Rubensai, winning a unanimous decision. Then piling up another win and then fighting another rematch against Carlos Cuadras in a fight in which he stopped him in the 11th round. What a fight that was indeed. And then last year, March 2021, another tough battle, another close fight between Chocolatito and Gallo Estrada. This the rematch taking place at the AA Center in Dallas in a fight which, again, it was basically the same fight from the first time. However, this fight, you had Gallo Estrada that was much more seasoned, much more experienced in the big major title fights, and ends up pulling off the split decision and evening the rivalry at 1 apiece. For Estrada, he is coming off a unanimous decision over RG Cortez in his last fight, as he now gets ready to take on Chocolatito Gonzalez. As mentioned, what a rivalry between these two guys, as Chocolatito, considered one of the best pound for pound at the lower weight classes, before stumbling upon his kryptonite, Sor Rubensai, as he was defeated by Rubensai at Madison Square Garden back in March of 2017, in his campaign to move up in weight to super flyweight, as he had defeated Carlos Cuadras, and then he fought a rematch against Sor Rubensai in a fight in which he suffered a 4th round knockout. Chocolatito was out cold in that fight, and many of us wondered if this was the end. However, Chocolatito bounced back and was very impressive in capturing the WBA World Super Flyweight title over Khalid Yafai. Then defended his WBA Super Flyweight title with a unanimous decision over Israel Gonzalez. And of course, he dropped the split decision in the rematch to El Gallo Estrada, relinquishing the WBA Super Flyweight titles. And in his last fight, he was impressive, winning a unanimous decision over Julio Cesar Martinez, previously undefeated Julio Cesar Martinez, champion in the lower weight class as he was moving up, but failed to make the weight, so the title was not on the line for him. Anyhow, this was Chocolatito's unanimous decision, as he was scheduled to take on Gallo Estrada that night. However, now we're ready for the rematch, for the trilogy, I should say, as we are expecting fireworks in this one. Nevertheless, this has become one of the best trilogies in the lower weight classes since, you've guessed it, Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carbajal, as they fought their trilogy. It will be non-stop action from the get-go, as these divisions pretty much have proved thus far throughout the history. The little guys like to throw a lot of punches. That's the action right there, non-stop. This fight is going to be exactly like the first one. Don't expect this to be another Golovkin-Canelo third rubber match where it was pretty much a dud. It didn't live up to the first 2 fights. These 2 guys, you're going to get action. It's going to be non-stop. You're going to have Chocolatito just throwing them straight punches, timing. You're also going to have Gallo that's just gonna be fighting on the inside, looking to counter whatever Chocolatito brings. As Gallo, a very good boxer puncher. What else could be said about Chocolatito? Just very skilled fighter, very intelligent in that ring. Again, this is one of the rivalries that you will be talking about in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Fortunately for me, I was able to witness a great rivalry in this small weight class between Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carvajal from Phoenix. So there's the roots why this fight will be taking place in Phoenix. Phoenix deserves it. Uh, it's a fight town, and it has its traditions. Um, Unlike we're used to seeing all the fights taking place in LA, Vegas. Um, this is the ideal spot for it. Obviously, you'll likely have Carvajal there in attendance, likely be honored. It'd be nice to see Chiquita there too at ringside for this third installment of Gallo Chocolatito. Mexico versus Nicaragua once again. Enough of that, but going into the fight, I'm going to go with Gallo Estrada in this one. I just feel that Chocolatito is near the end of the road. He still has something left in the tank, perhaps another good fight left in him. But again, he's had a hell of a career, but momentum, and I just feel Estrada is probably the more fresher fighter of the two, and I feel that he has picked up more in both times in the ring. So this will be an interesting one. I see this fight going the distance, 12 rounds. Expect Estrada to win this by a close decision.